happy to move on to our next speakers. And this is Ms. Natalya Mavrina and her co-presenter Lana Konkova. Ms. Mavrina is director of the children's vocal and choral studio Happy Childhood in Moscow. She is the visionary leader behind the studio, shaping its educational philosophy and fostering a creative, nurturing environment for children. With her extensive experience in arts education, she has successfully guided the development of countless young performers. Joining her is Ms. Lana Konkova, a highly skilled methodologist who specializes in the development of educational strategies within the studio. With a focus on integrating innovative approaches, Ms. Konkova plays a pivotal role in ensuring that every child's creative potential is realized while nurturing their cognitive and emotional growth. Together, they embody the spirit, both Ms. Mavrina and Ms. Konkova, the spirit of interdisciplinary collaboration and innovation. So please join me in welcoming you. And this is the title of our presentation here, Application of the Integrative Approach in the Development of Children aged 6 to 11 years using the example of the vocal and choral studio Happy Childhood in Moscow. Welcome, please.
Да, здравствуйте, уважаемые коллеги. Очень рада быть частью такой прекрасной, огромной команды.
Hello, dear colleagues. We're happy to be a part of such a team.
Представляю музыкальный отдел интегрального искусства и культуры Института ИХУД.
Our project is the integral approach in developing children using the example of vocal choral studio. We are musicians, music teachers. It's not a secret to anyone. As Alexander said, previous speaker, the development of sensitivity, the ability to feel another, is the foundation of the world, and that's what we do. Music is a very soft, good, ecological, and beautiful language of interaction between people. Why did we choose such an age, 6 to 11 years? This is a very important age for children, for development in children. They, on the one hand, they're very developed. On the other hand, very plastics psychology. This is an age when, in place of fairy tales, the song comes to his life, and he can feel the force of love, the force of good, and he chooses this, and he learns about the good in this world, and it's important so that he subsequently has the strength to fight the evil he faces in his life. And the third thing is that's an age when a child used to build vertical relationships with the mother, with the father, and me, and now suddenly he begins to build horizontal relationships. My experience before this project, I worked in different government organizations, and I can confirm that the modern approach to the study lags behind the needs of the children that the children have at this age. They want to explore the world, they want to be creative, and usually the education system gives templates and set rules to study. They usually get ready solutions, the standard of creativity, of art, and we see this especially in performance. And we see that a child, after studying at a classical music school, he loses his enthusiasm maybe for a while and maybe for his whole life. I have experienced that sometimes directors of music schools would insist that a child wouldn't study at a school. They would kick them out because they didn't see a result in his success. And we often don't understand that the problem is not the child, but the system of education, the approach of the student, the teacher to the student, lack of enthusiasm, lack of contact between the teacher and the student. And it's good that that particular parent found another place for the student to learn, and then the student became a successful musical educator. And there are many examples of such success stories. I was a teacher at a state school, music school in Russia, and I went off to do my own thing. And I went into choral studies. I worked with choirs because that's a good way to apply these principles we're talking about. And I'm passing on to Lana, who I'm working with. She will talk about herself a little bit. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be a part of such an amazing team. Hello to all the presenters, to the hosts, and to all the listeners. My experience is opposite. I learned at a jazz college, and which preferred people that didn't have experience. The entry commission said, they said, we accept those that aren't spoiled with the traditional classical music education. Classical musicians often find it very challenging to improvise. Another experience I received when I taught music education according to Karl Orff. After several lessons, children would play a composition they made themselves, and it took them very little time to progress, and they didn't have any specialized studies in theory. They just learned in the form of play. Natalya and I, we organized a choir, and we knew about the integral paradigm, and we respect its principles. Natalya is a co-author of Integral Games that soon is going into print. Natalya invited me to the Institute and to the project. The method we are working on is oriented on towards the needs of the children and their parents. We understand how big of a problem it is. How big of a problem it is to find a creative studio for a child that will keep his enthusiasm, develop his interest for art. We combine on this slide the three main criteria for the parents. First, every parent wants the approach to be individual and focused on their child, so he can express himself. Next, the attitude of the child to the art form, to the creativity. When the best thing is when he has the desire to continue his study, he becomes active and creative. Third, the relationships between children in the group. Parents often put their children in groups so they find friends and interact with others. And on the next slide, we've gathered the way the situation really is. In the modern schools, the reality will look according to the same criteria. What can the classical system offer us? Approach to the student, lack of individual approach, lack of a system for creative search and self-expression is not praised. Second, attitude, the relationship of the student to the his activity. What's really interesting to the child isn't taken into account. There is a program and it's put into place. The attitudes, the relationships in the group. One of the main concepts of the current approach to study is based on the competitive principle, inside of which there is a individual student competition. It's more this is more similar to sports. I'd like to share a case from my experience. A musician friend called me and said that the parents of my child, who's a student, attacked me and asked me why is my child not going to the competition. When I said that the child isn't ready, she was accused that the student isn't ready, and she was so stressed about it that she was about to leave the college. I'd like to share a quote from progressive American educator and philosopher John Dewey. We take away children's future if we continue to teach them the same way we used to teach them in the past. And he said these words at the beginning of the 20th century. What could the alternative education be to correct the situation of authoritativeness, intimidation? We know that in any educational process, we can apply the integral approach, where instead of hatred, there is love. Instead of competition, there is friendship. In practice, it happens the following way. There is an environment for safe creativity, creative output, creative search. We use the power of the group for collective participation. The child is an active participant. The integral approach helps us to widen the boundaries, and as a result of the education process, the child finds new solutions. He improves his creativity, and new connections are formed. Educator, child, parent. The parents are invited into the process. The connection between parents and children is improved. The connections between children is improved, or children develop new flexible skills. We are now going to look at the essence of the method. So Natalya and I were singing in women's adult choir in the Russian language. We sang together means to reach unity in action. So we achieved this unity and in thought and action. So the music and the integral method combined, and we understood that the choir is the ideal place to apply the integral approach. This is exactly where we want to realize the idea by taking out and revealing the inbuilt skills in a child in the modern world. Here are the goals of the project. Our general goal is to develop, implement, and spread the method of integral development for children in creative studios. The first is to test the effectiveness of the integral approach for development of children in the school age. The second is to formulate the concept of the development of a children's choral studio that will help harmonious development of children, taking into account their individual characteristics and needs. The third is to develop the methodology for a specialist called Musical Creativity for Children using the integral approach. A number of games and exercises for children and parents according to the rules of the circle, and a course and preparation of teachers of integral creative studios. And our team, would also like to create our team to realize the project and develop this project further. On this slide, we've listed what principles our studio is based on. First, development instead of forming. We're not creating artificial limits. We don't demand a student to be stuck in an old form. We grow their talents. We allow place for creative search. The second principle, from outside inwards rather than from inside outwardly. We focus on the results of information outside rather than inside. The third, each one is necessary and needed. What we need is desire. We don't have a selection process according to specific requirements. The fourth principle, common creativity instead of competition. We can't have a situation when only one person is soloing. So when instead of negative emotion, we feel positive emotion, and we all solo, everyone gets to go. And the fifth is, through all the previous factors, we get a special atmosphere of joy, elevation, supporting atmosphere that appears as a result of correct unity of the whole group. On this slide, we analyze the traditional and integral approach according to four criteria. First, the way of interacting with theoretical material. Unlike schools where we study using mechanical memorization, we use a lot of games and exercises. The atmosphere, there is competition, here it's partnership and support. In an ordinary school, when will there be a concert? I will play it. With us, it's a fast performances, 3 to 4 weeks. They include into a team, they get courage and joy. He needs to adapt and become proactive. The channels of perception. In a classical school, it's a very narrow transmission of information. In an integral approach, we use all the channels of perception, movement, images, colors, sounds, and so on. And the fourth, in the classical school, we form a performer. In our approach, we awaken a creator, an improviser, a composer. Here we've listed the instruments, the tools of integral approach that are applied in the studio and that we use. Of course, everything starts from the thought idea, then we need a team. By the way, we're inviting anyone who's willing to enter our team. The third, what tools this is realized through. What do we realize? The rules of the circle are used in all the discussions. There is a group with different ages to realize tutorship. We have a three-part lesson. When we set a task and analyze the lesson at the end. This develops many skills, including critical thinking that's very deficient right now in people. The integral valuation of success, achievements, regular performances, and integral interaction with the parents, strengthening family ties, adding and creates the conditions to apply the integral approach into the system. We are planning to add the principle of tutorship in the group, to create a portfolio, to increase the responsibility, the feeling of responsibility and participation. And we'd like to add thematic tours. On Sunday, there will be such a tour, such an excursion. The presentation was formed in February, and now this will put this in practice. Yes, next weekend we'll go to a park and spend a day together with the children and the parents. So here there are some testimonials, there's some common results, love for music, engagement and creativity, freedom and confidence on stage, development of other talents, dance, rhythm. Children are admitted into musical schools. The interest grows and desire to continue studying grows. Individuality and the ability to work in a team. When we work together, something magical happens. It doesn't happen inside of us, it happens between us. On the next slides, we can see pictures of our performances. And to sum up, we'd like to say the following. The integral approach to developing a child in the choral studio, happy childhood, takes into account the psychological typology of a child, the age characteristics, individual qualities, the desires of the child, and his natural skills, natural strong sides. It unites singing, rhythmics, speech, dance, playing musical instruments, psychology, games, and communicative exercises. One of the main benefits of our method, we consider the creation of a good environment, good meaningful environment for a child. The experience of work in the choral studio has shown the effectiveness of the integral method. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much for this presentation, Ms. Mavrina and Ms. Konkova, for this captivating presentation. I have to say, your insights have truly been inspiring. And we would like to take this inspiration and see how our participants are being inspired by you. And so we open the floor to our participants and invite for questions, and also from our online audience through social media channels. So this is an excellent opportunity for everyone to engage directly with our esteemed speakers and gain further insights. Wow, I see 2 questions here already. And so I think ladies first here. So please, if you would like to ask your question, Larissa from Moscow.
Thank you very much. I received a huge joy from the fact that there's such a studio. The question is, do you work? How long do you? How do you work with the parents?
Мы всегда на связи с родителями на
We're
протяжении
always in touch with the parents, and all the
согласовываем и делаем с родителями.
events we discuss, arrange with the parents. We're always in touch with the parents, and we are planning an even tighter contact because we've just started. I've been planning to develop a method book for the parents, so these principles are strengthened in the family. So this happens in practice. As an educator, I'd like to learn from you and visit you and maybe even take part. I think this is amazing. It would be amazing to maybe I could help you in my field of work. This is very intriguing. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. So this is how it works. We are connecting our wisdom, and so the wisdom will go bigger and raise all of us. So yes, also in our team, we've been very much inspired. And so this one question came up here for us is, if you would like to pinpoint to tell us how does music help to develop social skills? How does music help to develop social skills?
Поскольку музыка
Since music is a sensitive language, it teaches a child to want to connect to another. When I listen to music and I don't like it, but with the help of an educator, the child learns to make sense of it, to find a place for it. The social skills, even performances, when we go on stage, we feel more at ease. Someone who performs more, he builds connections with others more easily. It's easier for them to come up and talk to someone. And the fact the music comes from inside, in such lessons, they feel that they have something beautiful inside of them. They're not afraid to look inside, and they learn to build connections with others. And when this happens in a choir, the process of interaction is very important. Listening to others, we are singing together. It's not that we are learning to sing together, we learn to interact. It's a certain sensitivity that improves us. Yes, and we give a place to one another. The fact that we're different, we accept this, and we allow a place for everyone, so we connect. And so we are able to see that we are different and how great it is that when we are together. And another thing, when we connect, when we unite voices in a choir, we try to sing in such a way that I don't listen to myself, but I listen to others. But naturally, we only listen to ourselves because we usually listen to our own voice.
Wow, 4 great insights I just heard here. Just want to highlight them, really. So we are learning with music a sensitive language. So this is beautiful. We are also bridging the gap between inside and outside, because there's an expression from inside and outside. And then there's also the other way around, from outside inside. This is also what I'm hearing. And what we are learning also is that we are different. You can sing in a different voice than I can sing, and this can come together. This is the learning here that I'm taking. Thank you so much. And do we have one, maybe Yasmin, do you allow us for one more question? Okay, great. Please, Rustam, would you like to raise your question?
My question is just out of interest. How do you make sure every child feels important and engaged in the group activity, especially when children can have different levels of skills and comfort in music?
Здесь очень важно,
Here, it's very
чтобы
important
педагог был очень внимательный,
for
особенно на первых
educated
уроках.
to be attentive, especially in the
Быть внимательны к
first
новому ребенку.
lessons, to be very
Ребенок на
attentive
самом деле очень любит,
to
да,
the
похвалу,
child.
и мы
Children
часто
love
используем
praise a lot, and we use this a lot often
поскольку мы говорили, что наш урок, он не
because
3-часовый,
we
мы в начале уроков собираем
we
детей,
say that our lesson is in 3 parts. We gather the children
мы
together,
настраиваем их
we
на
tune
командную
them
работу. И в конце
for
урока мы говорим,
teamwork, and at the end of the lesson, we say, what did you
каждый
succeed and what
участник, это
did
тоже
you
очень
didn't
помогает.
manage to do? And this also brings them closer together. Yes, and in addition to that, as we already said, there are no criteria of selection. There's no negative experience when they say something like, "Oh, well, you don't have a good ear," because in the space of the choir, he will develop this ear, musical hearing. We have a lot of experience with children that some children didn't get admitted into a music college, but the children are so talented that they win contests eventually because this process makes miracles happen.
Normally we look at contests in this, but it's not so much about this. This is what I'm hearing. And what I learn here is with your musical education of children, I believe you are actually teaching them a specific attitude toward each other and towards life. So I think we still have the time. If you would like to address again, what is the attitude that you are teaching the children to themselves and to others in your education of music?
Да, это очень хорошие все вопросы.
Yes, these are great questions. Thank you so much. Such interesting questions, deep questions.
Я могу сказать, что
I can say
особое отношение
that the special attitude
чуткость к другому.
is sensitivity towards others, focus on the other.
Практике мы
And in our practice, we take a lot, everything starts from the family, and we take a lot of songs about the mother, the father, granddad,
во-первых, делать творческие подарки,
grandma,
во-вторых,
and we teach them to give creative gifts to their family
ближе к подростковому сказать. А вот именно через песню
and say some things that can't be said through a song. I can express something I cannot say in words to a person, and the song is like a lifesaver because the song opens your heart, and it's very hard to sing something you don't agree with. Maybe I didn't answer the question.
Spasiba Bolshoi. Song can be a lifesaver. Let's take this. Applause to our presenters here. Thank you so much.